helicopter.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Golf Charlie Sierra going round.
Today I'm going to show you a time that I messed up royally while flying the plane. It was the first flight that I did after renewing my PPL where I decided to take the family along for a ride too. So the entire family were on board. I decided it would be a great idea to take them to another airfield, go and have some lunch and then fly back. Yeah, it didn't entirely go to plan, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the mistakes I made, what I've learnt from them and how I'm hoping not to repeat them again. So the plan for today then was to take my wife Rach and both kids for their first flight since I'd renewed my PPL. The plan was to head up the Yorkshire coast up to the Bridlington area before heading back inland to land at Sherburn in Elmet, just outside of Leeds.
Golf Bravo Foxtrot taking off 2-3. Okay, everybody ready?
Yep.
Let's roll. Roll. Ready, let's roll! Okay.
As I checked the altimeter on the climb out, I noticed it hadn't moved an inch and was still showing a reading of 0, which was a little bit concerning.
Oh yeah, I see the problem there.
Oh, the altimeter's not moved.
Ah. That's an issue.
Yay!
It took me a few seconds to realise that it wasn't working, and I used the barometric altitude in 4Flight on my iPad as a quick reference before I remembered to use the backup altimeter a few seconds later.
I'll have to use this one instead.
Santoft Airfield situated under Doncaster's control area, so I had to make sure I stayed below 2,000 feet to avoid busting their Class D airspace. I stayed below 1,500 feet to give me enough vertical space until I was well away from their zone. After the flight I found a post-it note on the floor with the words altimeter in op on it, which had clearly fell off the primary altimeter. I'd made a rookie mistake here by not checking the aircraft's technical log before the flight. There'd been nobody in the porter cabin used by the flying club when I got there, and it was all locked up with the tech logs inside. Now usually I might have asked about any known issues when I collected the keys, but the keys were already in the plane and there was nobody staffing the airfield. I'd flown the aircraft a few days before and there were no issues then, so I just wrongly assumed that nothing much would have changed in the meantime. So the lesson this taught me was never to skip checking the tech log. When I learned to fly, any faults with the aircraft were usually relayed to me by the instructor, which perhaps led to me being a little bit more complacent about it, but I think it's just one of the many things that's very important when flying in the real world after you get your PPL that you might not have had to think about much while training.
Echo Bravo Foxtrot changing to undefined 119.130. Roger, see you later. See you later, thank you.
Hey, look at that big river!
Oh yeah, that's the Trent, darling. We're going to be finding a bigger river in a minute. If you look over there, in the 1 o'clock there's the Humber Bridge. That's sort of where we're heading.
Oh, okay.
This is the Trent, so the Trent will come up here and join with the Humber a bit further up.
I'll do the car factory at 9 o'clock. What you say? Car factory at 9 o'clock. Can't hear you.
Alright guys, come on.
Cromwell 3-1, are you routing Brig and then on to Louth?
XM Cromwell 3-1, going towards the mast at the moment this time.
Okay.
So a few minutes into the flight and I'd already had an altimeter failure and now had the children arguing in the back as well. This flight was turning into a whole lot of
Visual traffic off Barker.
Alpha Becker, thank you.
To compound this, Anna was now getting more and more frustrated that her mic wasn't picking up her voice.
Pardon? Put the microphone right near your mouth.
What?
Put the microphone near your mouth and then talk.
I've been in the world.
How big is the world?
What?
I'm going to talk to people, so just give me a minute. Lovely, can we just quiet a minute while I talk to Homicide, please. Thank you. Homicide radar, good afternoon, Golf Bravo, Zulu Bravo, Foxtrot, request basic service.
Golf Bravo Zulu Tango Fox, sorry, Golf Bravo Zulu Bravo Foxtrot, pass a message.
Yeah, Golf Bravo Zulu Bravo Foxtrot, Cessna 172 routed Santos to Sherburn, but we're heading east along the Humber, 7 miles southwest of the Humber Bridge at 2,400 feet, QNH 1020, request basic service.
Roger, squawk 4276.
Squawk 4276, Golf Bravo Foxtrot.
Golf Bravo Foxtrot, you identified on a basic service. The Barnsley pressure setting is 1015.
Basic service 1015, Golf Bravo Foxtrot, thank you.
And you do have traffic though in about your 2:30 range of 2 miles, also routing towards the bridge, similar level.
And we're looking for the traffic, Golf Bravo Foxtrot, thank you.
I just can't see him.
No, I can't see him. It's similar level, didn't he, about 2:30?
Yeah.
It's not even showing up on the radar, so... But that's Bravo Echo, that's the one that went out just before us. Oh, there he is, I've got him. Literally following us just sort of here.
Oh yeah,
You
I
got
can see him now.
Okay, so we'll just sort of head this way.
Well, that's a visual of that traffic. Going to take it up to 3,500 feet.
Oh, he's going up anyway.
Starting station, say again the call sign. Let's go back off of our record, visual of the traffic and climbing to 3,500 feet. Is you okay? Okay, that's fine.
Golf Bravo Foxtrot also visual with the traffic as he goes into the cloud.
Okay. Homicide radar, Golf Alpha Tango Juliet, remember request basic service.
See the beach, Anna?
What did you say?
Can you see the beach out of your window, look?
Yes!
Yep.
We fly over the sea.
You want to?
Yeah.
Go on then. Head out
So we're
towards-
gonna fly over the sea. I can see like that's probably just a pylon. Look like some sort of radar. It looks more like the English Channel.
So this is the North Sea, Anna.
What did you say?
This is the North Sea.
The North Sea.
Yes, just turn your squeaking down a little bit. Because you're about deafening me every time you shout in.
Hey.
You don't need to shout, you just need to talk.
Just talk normally, darling, into the headset. If you're not picking yourself up, then move it closer to your mouth, yeah? Right, we're over the sea now.
After a little ride up the coast towards Bridlington, we turn back inland to head towards Sherburn.
North.
Okay, so we should be in Sherburn in about 20 past 1, so... No. Oh, 1:50. About another half an hour.
I want to go home. I can't play my phone because there's no Wi-Fi.
And that's the reason you want to go home, because you can't play on your phone.
Bored? I'm bored, but I can't play my phone because there's no Wi-Fi.
Oh, try looking out the bloody window.
Right, shush a minute, please.
Bravo Foxtrot, I have traffic west of your range of 3 miles, routing towards Flamber Head, similar level.
Looking for the traffic, thank you, Golf Bravo Foxtrot.
So with the in-flight Wi-Fi on the fritz, a bored daughter and a stressed dad, I started talking to Sherburn radio.
And Golf Bravo Foxtrot, request frequency change to Sherburn 122.610.
Golf Bravo Foxtrot, Roger, squawk 7000, bye-bye.
Squawking 7000, thanks for the help, bye. Sherburn radio, Golf Bravo Zulu Bravo Foxtrot.
Golf Zulu Foxtrot, patch message.
Golf Bravo Zulu Bravo Foxtrot, Cessna 172 inbound from Santos, 10 miles to the east, 2,000 feet, request joining and landing information.
Runway news is 28 left on tarmac, QFE 1018.
28 left hand tarmac and the QNH 1018 Golf, Bravo Foxtrot. Right, 1018.
I'd planned to do a standard overhead join at Sherburn, meaning I'd join from the north, descend to circuit height and follow the circuit round to final approach. On arriving though, the circuit was much busier than I'd anticipated. This was the first time I'd landed away from Santoff since renewing my PPL, and I don't think I was quite prepared enough for just how busy it was.
Okay, so we're going to join overhead, and runway 28 is sort of the one that goes that way. It's a hard runway with this all grass.
Alright.
Okay, there's one just taken off from the 28.
Yeah, I see you.
And then I can see him on short final as well. You got him literally just going over the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
I look
I
at
see
you.
the tractor down below.
See the airport. Sam out the left hand window. See the airport?
I think so.
Loads of
Oh
little
yeah, I
aeroplanes.
see it.
Yeah.
I see it. I also see a tractor in a nearby field.
Yeah, just watching him. He's just taking off.
The aircraft taking off below us was Golf Charlie Sierra, who we'll see again on downwind in a few minutes.
He's just on your side, so just keep an eye out for him for me.
Yeah, I see him.
Being an uncontrolled airfield, it's up to the pilots to make all the judgment calls, which means listening to other aircraft calling their positions to make sure that you know where everyone is. Crucially, this means everyone announcing their position. Standard practice is to call overhead the airfield, then again on downwind leg, and once more on final approach.
Green's on the left. I'm bored.
Thank you, Anna. Come here quiet now, please. I'm landing now.
When are we landing?
Just quiet, please.
Aside from keeping an eye and an ear out for traffic, Anna's protests from the back seat were sending my stress levels through the roof.
So far, Foxtrot downwind 28 to land.
At this point, as far as I was aware, there was just myself with Golf Charlie Sierra behind me on the downwind leg.
Okay, brakes are off, front carriage is attached, mixture is rich. Fuels on both, instruments, bets, UFB 1018. RP specs on, hatches and highs. Everybody fastened in?
Yes.
Affirmative.
Thank you, RP set off.
Golf Charlie Sierra, downwind 28.
Golf Charlie Sierra was now behind me in the circuit on the downwind leg. At this point, as far as I was aware, there were just myself and the aircraft behind me. Nobody else had called up to say that they were in the circuit.
Sherburn Radio, Golf Charlie Kilo Zulu Delta, requesting radio check and airfield information.
Golf Zulu Delta, reading you 5. The runway news is 28 left on tarmac, QFE 1018.
28 left hand on the tarmac, 1018, reading you 5 also, Golf Zulu Delta.
Sherburn Radio 9, Hotel Foxtrot Lima Yankee, overhead Selby, 2,000 feet, request airfield information.
There's a helicopter.
Oh yeah, thank you.
The helicopter was taking a really long final approach right in front of us, so to avoid him I made a right hand turn to give way to him and extend my final approach. I've listened to the air traffic control from this flight over and over again, and at no point do I ever hear the helicopter in question call up.
No, but I'm
Golf Charlie Sierra, left base 28.
Hang on, just guys, quiet please.
Golf Charlie Sierra was now behind me on base leg. Meanwhile, the helicopter finally announced its position.
Helicopter Golf Kilo Alpha, final for midfield.
Oh, Bravo Foxtrot final 28 to land.
Okay, Golf Charlie Sierra, we're also final. We can see you visual. Go.
So at this point I just turned on to final approach. The helicopter had ploughed in ahead of me and Golf Charlie Sierra was turning on to final approach right behind me.
Charlie Sierra going round.
My decision to make a right turn to avoid the helicopter and extend my final approach had ultimately caused the aircraft behind me to get too close and resulted in him going around. In reality, it should have been me making that decision to climb back into the overhead and make a second attempt at an approach, rather than try to put some more space between the helicopter and myself at the expense of space behind me for the other aircraft. Put simply, I'd become so focused on avoiding the helicopter, it had completely slipped my mind that somebody else was behind me in the circuit.
Golf Charlie Sierra, downwind 28.
So after the chaos of the final approach, we'd managed to land smoothly at Sherburn with no harm done. I've flown over 40 hours since this flight with many landaways without incident. Flying's an experience where you never stop learning, and this flight taught me the importance of keeping a good ear out, not getting distracted and making quick decisions. Oh, and always check the tech log. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video as well as what you'd have done in the same situation. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.